Hello everyone, my name is Brian Davis and welcome to ScubaTuber Live. In this series I talk to scuba tubers who have a channel on YouTube and try and find out a bit of their backstory, so you find out more about them as people. You can ask questions, and today I'm lucky to have dive monsters, aka Rudy and Daisy, a fantastic, absolutely hilarious father and daughter team from Dumaguete in the Philippines. Just to give you a kind of teaser of what we're in for, and they haven't seen this, just going to play this video clip.
Hey friends of the sun, welcome to another great video. Right now you probably look at the most craziest guy in Dumaguete.
So here we are. They didn't know I was going to do that. They had no clue.
Hello, Brian.
But I just wanted to set the scene.
Well, you sure did.
Yeah, great. We are very grateful to be on the show and be up for a treat, friends of the sun out there.
Okay, right. I'm going to just kick off with a few sort of icebreaker questions. I'll start with Rudy, then I'll come to Daisy.
Sure.
So, Rudy, how long have you been in the Philippines and how did you end up there?
Well, I'm in the Philippines since 2001 or 2002, and like most people, I just ended up with aircraft. Aircraft is the easiest way. So it was a dive holiday with my former girlfriend. I had a tour break, and each time we had a tour break, we usually went to Asia somewhere. And on the boat show in Düsseldorf, one of the biggest scuba diving or water sports show, we had an offer going, we saw an offer going to the Philippines 3 weeks. Back then, I think it was something like 1,700 euros, only 3 weeks, including flight, unlimited diving. And we just booked it right at the boat show. And yeah, that was May, I guess, 2001. That's how I came to the Philippines.
Yeah, in Germany, you always get much better diving deals than we do in England.
We deserve.
You deserve it. Oh, here we go.
We dive on the correct side. It's like
you dive on the correct side.
That's why we have better highways. We drive on the correct side.
So you went on a holiday in the Philippines, and what did you do? Just stay, or?
No, on the way back to Batangas, from Puerto Galera to Batangas, I told my girlfriend, I'm going to change my life again. I was still young, kind of.
You still look young, Rudy.
And as I changed my life, I flew back home, talked to my business partner, and quit basically working in the music business. Was back 2 months later, did my dive master and instructor, and stood there.
You did that in the Philippines or in Germany?
No, in the Philippines. I'm a big boy, but I'm a kind of
fair weather diver, we call it.
I need warm water, bathtub conditions. That's where you get me in.
And lots of visibility.
I tried diving in Germany, and too much effort, and then you see 2 meters, So not my thing.
So can you just explain what you actually did before you decided to move to the Philippines full time?
Oh, before that, I basically started working in the music business when I was 16. At the same time, I learned as an electrician with our local power company and then worked with Siemens. But at the same time, I already started in the music business and became a sound technician. Nowadays, you have to study that stuff. Back then, it was learning by doing. And with a lot of luck and probably hard work, I got some really good jobs. And first touring came in, and then I did some great stuff. Did the sound for several more or less famous bands, or toured with them as sound or as stage manager and stuff like that. Fun part was I never learned English at school at all. I had Latin and France. So, and my first tour was to Italy with a Black American gospel band. And they thought I speak Italian, and the Italian technicians thought I speak proper English, and I spoke none of it. And it was 3 months, my first tour at all, away from home, over Christmas, over New Year's Eve. My girlfriend back then, we broke up, of course, because I never came home. But I liked that on the time, that gospel group, I think, what was the name? I think Golden Gospel Singers. They were pretty famous. We played in big concert halls, 3,000-4,000 people. Christmas Eve, we were in Milan in the Dome and played a concert there the day before Christmas Eve. So amazing stuff and great spirit. Not even, I don't care about that religious stuff, but that great spirit. But over the years, I had too many people around me. So scuba diving, being alone underwater, away from each evening between 50 and 2,000, 20,000, 50,000 people. That fitted me well.
Yeah, it must be tough. I mean, everyone thinks it's a glamorous lifestyle, touring with rock bands or famous acts.
I mean, it's work. You have extreme working hours. I mean, there was no. When I was 31, I made a calculation that if I would have a 9-to-5 job, I would be already 55. So I worked when I was 30 as much as the regular tax collector in Germany when he's 55.
All right, we've got a couple of comments. Hold on. Judea, Critter Hunter's wife, says hello, everyone. And a special hello for Daisy. Hi, Daisy.
Of course, Filipino to Filipina.
That's right. So just we've got people online now. Just put your comments and questions up. We will do our best to answer them. I think we've answered every question on every live screen so far, so we will put them up. Okay. So just a bit more about diving. Have you just dived in the Philippines, or have you dived in other countries as well, Rudy?
No, I dived in Germany. I did actually do fun ice diving.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
I'm not doing that again. It's too cold, and I can't even drink enough. How much I would need to piss in my dry suit to keep me warm. So no.
We use argon nowadays, Rudy. We use argon. We have a bottle of argon.
It's just not a thing for me. So, but I was diving Bali, Indonesia. I'm actually Red Sea. What's that? Ras Hammamet.
Ras Mohammed.
Yeah, where that beautiful wreck is. I love that.
This will go on, yeah. Everyone.
Yeah. I mean, this is just great, and I was lucky. I can't remember, it's a long time ago when I went there. We were lucky to get there really, really early morning, and there was basically one other boat there. So we had that whole wreck at the first time completely for ourselves, more or less. And this is, of course, you don't find now anymore.
Outside of the Philippines, where's your favorite diving destination?
Outside of the Philippines, where I've been or where I want to go?
Well, let's have both. That's where you've been and where you want to go.
Okay. Where I've been, it is probably the Red Sea, Egypt. I just liked it there. I don't know, I was not very experienced, so everything may be a little bit more exciting or anything. I mean, so...
No, I still like the Red Sea. You can't,
I think you can't get tired of that.
It's got everything, right? Especially now, especially if you're on liverboard. So, I love liverboard. What about you? Liverboard or land-based?
Island hopping. That's my favorite.
Island. There's not many islands in the Red Sea.
But a friend of mine here in the Philippines, for example, it's sadly not allowed with all that new stuff. Not even COVID before, it was not allowed to go with your own boat from island to island to island.
So it wasn't allowed?
It was allowed, but it's not allowed anymore because each island has another marina, and if you don't have the permit to go there and blah, 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 it's a pain in the ass, to anchor, just go somewhere. And he did that a lot, at least in the Visayas. It's not possible anymore because it's like Chris Heim, it's a Swiss guy, and he went from like Capilao to Magete up to Pescador up to Molboal, and every day you basically sleep in a beautiful resort, and then you go on the boat. Have your day on the boat.
When I've retired, which is less than 3 years to go now, one of the things I want to do is actually sail or motor around the Philippines diving in the season. So we can't do that. I'll have to get a foreign registered boat, I guess. I'll have to sail to the Philippines.
Probably with a foreign boat, it's easier possible.
Right, just before I go on with another couple of questions, Rudy, we got Critter Hunter, and of course here, what's his first question? No octopus today?
That's not really
I think we can sort that one out later, can't we? We can handle that. We knew that was coming.
I think it's a statement about his own diving, not a question.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's got some issues with life at the moment, with octopi, octopuses, pussies, and Kevin, and I don't know what's going on with the guy really. And when I lived in the Red Sea, there were octopuses. Why didn't you film them? Well, you could have used them for the challenge.
Well,
anyway, so I mean, I dive in the Philippines, but I always dive in Anilao and Subic. So, where's your best location in the Philippines? Where should I go?
There's no discussion. There's no even a second opinion. Tubadaha. That's the liverboard.
And that's only liverboard, right? So
there's not even a second opinion about that.
Have you been there?
Yeah. I was there twice. The first time, actually, that was actually pretty cool because the dive shop I was working with, if you fill a boat with, it has had a lot of returning divers. So, but if you fill a boat with customers, basically your slot was for free because you fill the boat, you are the entertainer for them anyway. So the boss sent you off a week free diving, sitting in Tubata on the boat and having a good time.
So you've been there a few times?
Only 2 times. The next time and then it got really expensive. That early 2000s.
Oh, I've looked at it. A week on a liverboard, $2,500 to $3,500.
Back then it was $800.
Yeah, I mean it's just crazy. Yeah, you guys are gonna have to make me a famous blogger, and then I might get a free trip. But my sort of budget for the Maldives is about $1,500 to $1,800. I'll go when there's an offer, and for the Red Sea, between $1,000 and $1,200. So if I've got to pay nearly 3 times that, I nearly have a heart attack.
I thought actually that the prices in the Philippines, I'm ready to move, but we have COVID, but the prices in the Philippines are extremely high. Everybody says, "Oh, it's cheap," and I find them extremely high.
I don't. Well, that's why I dive in Anilao a lot because I've got 2 kids who dive. So what I do is I rent my own bank car. I pay $60 for it with the crew. They know all the dive sites, and then me and the kids, their mum and their auntie.
It's awesome. I mean, I think diving is still a kind of okay, but especially if you live here, I mean, of course you can have a meal for $3, but that's no food. I mean, and
the dive centers don't do deals. At the dive center I use in Subic, I said to them, look, I'll pay you for 100 dives, right, valid for a year. I'm glad I didn't do that deal now because of COVID. I said, what will you do them for? I was looking for around between $10 and $15. They weren't interested. I said, if I don't use them, I lose them. Whereas anywhere else in the world, they'll do a deal. Right, we've got Rachel Serona.
Oh, that's the boss. That's our boss, our real boss.
Yeah.
Right. Now, last question for Rudy, because I want to talk to Daisy, because she's obviously the better looking one and of the pair of you, and she's got a nicer accent. But last question, what's your day job now? How do you survive in the Philippines?
How do I survive now? Actually, the secret is I usually am in a bar right now. I'm not Friday night. I dance on a pole in a bikini.
Well, Daisy did tell me that, and I said we will reschedule. And she said to me, "Oh, he doesn't drink so much anymore."
Yeah, because I'm working there. You know, there are a lot of weirdos in the Philippines by now. So I'm there with my bra and my thong tea bag going up and down the pole. Yeah, it's a kind of weird to imagine it, but to see is to believe.
You don't want to see it.
No, that's
we should get some footage of that. I'll stick a video of that up as an intro.
You'll have to pay me a lot of money to take a video of that.
All right, we'll negotiate. Maybe I get some backers all wanting to chip in.
Otherwise than that, I take care of some websites and work on other stuff, implementing German content in certain websites, mainly in the European market, German-speaking market. We run a local website about Dumaguete.
Yeah, I had a look at it today. Very impressive.
Yeah, and we have that one, the Dumaguete.com channel and Dumaguete.com website. And on the website, we had quite good affiliate stuff going on with hotels, Agoda, Booking.com, all the things. But everything broke, of course, away with COVID, and nobody knows when it's actually changing again. So therefore, we have to look for other sources of income. I mean, my whole entire life after the music business, I always tried to have at least a second leg. So if something breaks away, at least you can survive on something else.
Yeah.
And at the moment, I do a little bit gambling stuff, and I'm not gambling, but I work in that industry with some translation and implementation things. So with COVID, that's actually for that kind of industry pretty good. So I'm pretty much in demand, which leaves us not enough time for scuba diving. But I step out from all that local Dumaguete business and leave that everything with Daisy. I mean, I'm like, nah, do that Dumaguete stuff. I don't want to deal with people here. That my nerves are not strong enough for that.
Critter Hunter's been on again. So I'm wondering why there was such a line at the bar. Now I know.
Yeah, but that's can't help. Right. I know there are a lot of weird creatures right now in Dumaguete, so even they have to be served one way or another.
Yeah, I'm not going to judge. I'm there just to ask the questions. Now, Daisy.
Yes.
Hi, Daisy. Yeah, you can go. We're done with you now. We'll just. I'm sure everyone on the live stream will just want to spend the time with Daisy now. Oh, don't be upset, Rudy. Come on.
He's now going to the bar.
Yeah.
All right, Daisy. How long have you been diving?
2 years and 2 months. I started my open water August 2018.
And how often do you dive? How many dives have you done?
Well, I've done so far only 82 dives. During the pandemic, at least like once a month, as much as possible. We have real work, so kind of have to schedule it. It's only once a week.
So, are you still an open water diver, or have you progressed, or do you want to progress, or?
I do want to progress, yes, but right now I'm an advanced with enriched air. So next is rescue, which is very essential for every diver, in case something happens.
Yeah, it's a fantastic course, but extremely hard work. But it's probably one of the most rewarding courses for a young diver.
Look for a fitting instructor, actually. I still look for a capable instructor, because most instructors I've seen in Dumaguete are not good enough to teach her. So Sounds hard, but they do that.
And he doesn't want to teach
I'm not
me
teaching.
now. So
who taught you your open water?
Actually, you mentioned it. The Swiss guy called Chris Heim. He is actually my sponsor as well for my open water and advanced. He also owns Sea Explorer, so big shout out to Sea Explorer's family there. Dive with a smile.
Right. So you've only ever dived in the Philippines, I guess.
Yeah, sadly. But
And
I'm not complaining.
just in Darwin, or have you been anywhere else?
I have. I've been to Sumilon. I've been to Oslo, which is basically more or less like same area, and Apo Island. Only those big three.
What was your favorite?
Oh, Sikihor. Oh yeah. I was also dive Sikihor. Sorry, my favorite dive site?
Is that dive location in the Philippines?
My favorite would probably be Apo Island because it just has more sentiment to it, because that's also the first dive site I went to after my open water. Like the day after.
You were spoiled.
Very spoiled. And then the day after Apo Island, I went to swimming with whale sharks and diving with whale sharks.
Are you doing this on purpose, Daisy?
No, I'm not. It's just like pretty girls get good stuff.
Now, I understand, Daisy, that you're quite industrious, that you've got a day job and several sidelines as well. Would you like to tell us about those?
Sure. Well, aside from the computer work, editing videos, playing with softwares, I'm also a delivery girl. I have a little online shop called Gifts and Flowers Dumaguete, where we basically help helpless lovers outside Dumaguete, like in abroad, who has girlfriends, families here in the area, in the island, and we just deliver them gifts. It's a little bit overpriced, but again, it's the service, it's the quality, and you don't get scammed.
It's never overpriced if you're giving a good service, a quality product, and you're not scamming the customer.
And we're not complaining because we do get some orders. I mean, we have a delivery next week, so I'm not complaining at all.
So when I want to send Dive Monster Senior 12 red roses for Valentine's Day, I know where to come now.
Yes.
Keep it in the family, yeah.
She needs the chocolate. I take everything. I'm not picky.
Yeah, well, I know if I send them to Daisy, you'll take them anyway, so I might as well just give them to you.
One thing is, we do have quite some nice cakes here. I'm sure we can find one with an octopus on it or something. I don't know if you want to send it to somebody. I don't know. Just as an idea for Christmas. If it doesn't.
So what it seems is Rudy's really instilled into you that German work ethic.
Yes.
Like when you said to me, "Oh, you're going to sleep today to get ready for the interview," out came a comment, "No, she isn't. She's got work to do."
Well, that's was supposed to be a joke. Of course, I don't sleep until the afternoon unless it's my day off. But
you get a day off. Rudy gives you a day off
once a week. But most of the time we use it for diving, so
no day off.
So no day off.
Right, a few more comments. Brian might advance to rescue someday. Critter Hunter, stop telling my secrets. I'm quite happy being an open water diver. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with diving as an open water diver? And this is Brock from Canada, the side mic guy. He's having. Critter Hunter's always on fire. It was just the Wi-Fi was a bit slow yesterday for him.
Well, we are in Dumaguete and we had some test runs before. I don't know. I think it's
This is fantastic. I think this is the best.
Karma.
Yeah.
Karma's a bitch.
Hi, David. We're reading.
Hi, David. Right. Right. Okay. So. Now let's have a chat about what you guys do together. But first of all, I would like to see the Critter Hunter impersonation.
We'll interrupt this show for a quick commercial break.
Critter
Hunter!
Well, it's not a cake, but it's something.
It's an octopus.
It's an octopus.
I mean, I need to change my glasses. I don't see anymore. They're already
that just cracks me up. That just absolutely cracks me up.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. What's he got to say about this? Oh, he's got his cable connected.
Good Wi-Fi now.
Judea like that. Do you want to do that again?
You want to do that again?
Yeah, let's do it again.
We wait for the next comment.
Every time.
Hold on there. Oh, what the is happening? Ha ha ha. Daisy, can I have that? I need one in my life.
A lot of passion and every stuffed toy, but I'll try to make you one for Christmas. I'll try. No promises though. This is, by the way, a mimic octopus. I tried to make a mimic octopus.
So, I mean, if Critter Hunter's recording this, has he satisfied the challenge? No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
You're just making it hard for him, huh?
He made it hard for himself.
I take the 5th.
Turget's got a comment.
Cannon will
Turget, no, that octopus is definitely not for Justin. He's not getting out of jail that easy.
No, that one is part of my collection in my office. I mean,
yeah.
And apparently you made a pygmy seahorse.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had. I have one in a picture here. If I can.
Do you have the pygmy seahorse at the back?
Well, I try to have a look here. I'm sure I have it somewhere in a picture.
There we go.
Beautiful.
That's
beautiful.
Right, let's add you up. Let me get you sorted.
I think I shared it already, is it?
Yeah.
There it is. And Judy comments. Judy is loving all this stuff. Yeah, that's.
There we go.
So if we want it, you know, if any of us get another challenge from Critter Hunter, we've just got to call you guys, right?
Oh yeah.
You make us up the critter, and away we go.
Funny question. I actually looked back, and it always says on the challenges. Oh my God, that's going to be a great one. On the challenges, I always say you can challenge back.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do, and that's one of Justin's things. You know, you got to challenge people back.
Yeah, but it never says with videos.
Yeah.
Sorry.
He never says we have to challenge him to take a video. He says challenge back
to find a critter.
Or you can.
Come on, of course you've got to get a what's the name? Anyway, let's move on because I've done some research, and what I understand is Dive Monster wasn't the original name of this channel, was it?
No, the channel was actually Wow German, but actually Dive Monster was a website to start with before Wow German. So we already had a website called Dive Monster, and then one day decided to have a channel, but then not calling it Dive Monster, which is a little stupid. That was supposed to be just learning software, right?
Well, Wow German was about having fun.
Yeah, having fun.
Well, let me just show all the viewers a little clip that I put together.
Today we're gonna sing a good old German kindergarten song. If you like what you've seen, subscribe for me.
Subscribe.
And for Daisy. And for Wow Germany.
I knew I'd have to prepare for this interview. I knew.
Well, I am prepared. prepared. I can sing you the song if you want.
No, and yeah, we started that out for several reasons. I mean, I just took Daisy out of the local schools because they completely, I mean, it just makes no sense to avoid bad words. And so she started working here in the office. And to get used to all the software, that was the time we also started for dumageti.com, making the first little video clips from festivals and tourist attractions. And to make her learn the software, learning has to be fun. You know, it's like same like learning diving, has to be fun. And I mean, nothing embarrasses me anymore. So
apparently, I'm getting that stage where I'm not embarrassed as well.
So, and with all that videos, you know, she learned a little bit about the sound. She learned a little bit how the lighting has to be. She learned a little bit how to, with the first Premiere Pro working, small applications doing this, learning like that intro of Wow German and all that stuff. And because it was fun, the learning came naturally. That was the whole point of actually starting Wow German.
Yeah.
And
so, do you speak German, Daisy?
No, just phrases.
You just sing all the songs.
Yeah, well, that was the ABC, but you don't want to know what the
words are.
The words
I'm sure she knows all the swear words. I'm sure. Now, let's get a few more comments up. Let's get so Judea's on. Daisy's doing good.
Yeah, I'm planning.
I think we're going to call you the Critter Maker.
I'm gonna try to find a better, how do you call, title for me, but I'll take that title, thank you.
Yeah, the Critter Maker. Right. All right, bring it on. Right. Critter Hunter. Hi, Prez. So glad you've tuned in.
That's our neighbor,
Yeah.
Prez.
And you challenged me, but right, he wants a challenge. So can we have a live challenge?
How about a crab? Brian
I think he
challenged
didn't
you.
do that well with that also.
No, would you like to challenge him?
Critter Hunter.
Would you like to challenge him here live on air?
Well, oh my God.
Mhm.
Should I?
Go for it.
No, because the thing is, it's not, he always says, challenge me. Not about making films or underwater. I would challenge him.
Can you challenge him to make an underwater video?
No, I challenge him to make a live stream with me, half an hour on an exercise bike.
That's
The fattest divers
Wow,
ever.
that's a great one.
Yeah.
Oh,
It promotes health.
exclusive here on ScubaTuber Live.
We go with our phones into the
You
studio.
guys.
30 minutes on
Critter
an
Hunter.
bike.
Let's see what you wash your hands up. I don't know what she means by that, but
That's
Critter Hunter, you've got a challenge. You've got a challenge. Half an hour live stream on an exercise bike with Dive Monster Senior.
And that basically, I mean, us together on one screen, they have to invent whatever the 32 by 9 screen. I mean, this is something amazing. You need 3 monitors next to each other to get that in the screen.
Beautiful scenery of the wheels spinning. Yeah, and today
So let's go back to the YouTube channel. When did you make the decision to change it from Wow Germany to Dive Monster and focus more on diving related content? Not that's what you only do. You do other stuff as well. But why Dive Monster and why diving?
Well, at the end of the day, it happened automatically. I stopped diving for a couple of years actually after Typhoon Pablo, I think that was, and I didn't dive at all. So, and Chris Heim then sponsored her the dive course.
And I forced him. I literally dragged his butt going to the ocean, say, we need to go diving together.
It was more or less birthday wish kind of thing.
So,
and then I decided, okay, I buy a GoPro.
Yep.
Just to document that. And I'm extremely happy that I said yes, that I actually went back to go diving again. And Well, I had the website anyway, so we decided we rename it, and the first few GoPro shots, well, look like GoPro shots without light, and I tried all that filter stuff, and it's completely nonsense, that filter stuff, you know, that red and orange and blah, 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 find way better solution even without lights. And so it improved, and we still go in the water with the GoPro, just a few more lights. But at the end of the day, that's when we changed. That's when I changed it.
That's a great story. That is a really good story.
Long story short, I got my course, dragged his butt, decided to change the channel, and start making.
And Dive Monster was born. Yeah.
Right, Critter Hunters accepted the challenge.
I didn't say I had to.
But Rudy, you didn't say you had to be pedaling. You gave him an out.
I think he looks funny just sitting on there. It's fine.
Yeah. No, but Justin, I think you should be pedaling. In fact, I want to see you both sweating your butts off.
Yeah, just sportsmanship, both pedaling, and then Judea and I cheerleading. That'll be nice.
Yeah. I can help you with some nice cheerleader outfits if you want sponsoring. But I get to select the final ones.
Fine, but I'll cover the camera when it's with me.
Oh, sorry, I got my comments from Turgut. Come on, Justin, you can do it. And I actually look for a stationary bike, but all these filaments are made for people who weigh 12 kilos. I'm sure Rudy will engineer one for you.
The saddle is definitely made for Filipinos.
We have one at home, but it just doesn't fit his butt.
It's like, I mean, I don't know. The saddle on that bikes they sell here, that's like an adult toy. I mean, this is the weirdest thing ever. So yeah, it doesn't really fit, and well, it does fit. That's the issue. You can't sit on.
Critter Hunter's modifying the challenge. He wants it with a wetsuit and mask on.
Oh, if I can wear the mask like a real pro, no problem. No problem. Because real pros have the mask, back to front, as we all know. I get into my stinky thing, no problem.
This is gonna
but still on your channel, it's not exclusively diving. And when you did, what was it, the cheap shitty burger tasting or something? I mean, How the hell do you dream these things up, you guys?
Oh no, we don't dream them. It just pops in his head. Apparently, his head is full of that.
Yeah, I can come up with ideas like that, like all the time. And one of the problems is that people here really think these are good burgers. So
yeah, actually.
So we have since kind of a couple of months now a food delivery service called Food Panda here.
Yeah.
And we were really looking for the cheapest burger, usually maximum $1, 50 peso, and see what you actually get. One of them was edible. The rest was so bad, so extremely bad. But we plan to make a more expensive burger challenge in the very, very near future, where and that's going to be a tough one for those shops, because then we take this 250, so $5-6 burger.
And they have to level up.
And I take them apart. I don't have any issues if they.
Sorry, how much were the burgers in the first challenge?
Maximum $1 actually. So
I think two. There was something a little bit more than 50.
Well, we had the 100, but there were two burgers.
True, they do.
And what for the upmarket burgers? What's the budget?
They're around 250 pesos, or $5 to $6. Like
wow. So. I'm looking forward to your comments if they're not very good.
These are the most expensive burgers you get here in Dumaguete, and some of them are actually really good. I mean, we tried some in different restaurants, and they are good. They are just good. I mean, the best burger at the moment for me is down at the Boulevard restaurant called Casablanca. They have real good beef on it. It's not the American thing with a thin patty, but real big. You get thick burger patty and fantastic sauce.
You're making me hungry, you two.
Yeah. So that's actually my favorite burger at the moment in Dumagetti, but there are challengers. So, and it's always a complete different side if you have them delivered.
Yeah, via
from-
food and
Yeah.
delivery.
Like, are they still hot? Are they a complete mess in the box? I mean, it just comes completely to one thing. And this
So when do you think we're going to see that?
Future, when we get hungry and decide, you know what, let's order burger.
That is stuff we just, it just happens. Like, come on, let's do something. We are hungry. Put up the light and
Start eating and
two cameras and start eating. So yeah, I actually, if the power wouldn't have come back yesterday, I would have gone with her to the city to buy some fugitol.
Some what?
Fugitol.
Oh, fugitol, yeah. The stuff that, I mean, I think, is that Filipino Valium or something?
No.
Well, I thought fuck it all is not allowed on YouTube, so I had to change the name to Fugitol. Because I was just ready. Fuck it all, fuck it, shit, beep,
He was
beep,
he was just all over the place, screaming.
No, you just got to chill, man. It is what it is. If the power goes out, you can't do anything about it except get a UPS or a generator.
It is what it is. And the best thing is if the power gets out and you get your electric bill delivered right in the middle of a blackout.
Yeah, that's the sad part. And all of your work, because we work mainly on computers, just everything gone. All 1,000 words gone. All videos that you started editing for 8 minutes gone. It's like, it's just so nice.
And like I said, the last good UPS I had, we had a power spike and they just burned down, like done. Even the last thing which burned down was my hot water dispenser.
Oh yeah.
If I can't stand up at 2 o'clock in the morning and
make
get coffee with nobody around me, that is, I freak completely out.
I take the day off basically.
Yeah. I mean, there are days she comes in the office and I just say, go.
Yeah.
Off day, paid. Just go to your boyfriend, have a great day, leave me alone.
So that, I guess we should call him Hot Monster, not Dive Monster or Angry Monster.
No, but I think actually it's a pretty fair thing before she suffers from my bad mood, which I probably wouldn't control if the next thing happens. So I rather pay her day and say, go away. You don't want to see me that way. You don't want that anything happens and I freak out.
So Daisy, why do you keep cutting the power?
I don't. I blame our electric provider.
Is it for those paid day off?
She needs an off day,
Yeah, she cuts the power. Okay, a couple more comments with Miss Judy. She's egging on Critter Hunter on. Kevin will cheer him on with Judy. Critter Hunter, Mrs. Food Panda. We have to cook in Darwin. Life's terrible, isn't it? And Red Cardinal's on. Hello, Red.
Hello, Red. Ooh, reminds me of Reddington. Red.
Red Reddington, yeah. But Red Reddington isn't a cardinal.
No, he's not.
So how often do you guys actually get to go diving? Pre-lockdown and post-lockdown, or during?
Still the same, once a week. Because
just once a week.
Yeah, because we sometimes do 2 times a week when we have enough work done, when we have money, when we have just it's all about scheduling. But usually on a Sunday, because if you watch our previous video, it's when our electric provider decide to have a scheduled brownout.
Like scheduled brownouts are usually Sundays. So
then you go diving.
Yeah.
You flee to the beach. It's different before the brownout, before COVID. I mean, it was different because then we use more boats. We have some connections to dive shops. They give us great rates. Or the dive shops I worked before. So we call them, do you have a dive tomorrow, or do you go to Apo tomorrow? And if they don't, or if they go but have space on the boat, we just hop on the boat.
Yeah.
We don't basically use guides or anything. I mean,
just tailing them basically out of the way, but still with them, as a group.
I'm diving.
Do you have all your own kit, including the cylinders and stuff as well, or?
Oh, we pay for the cylinders and stuff. It's just.
Oh, you rent the cylinders.
Yeah, it's just easier when you have a boat. Now we do more shore dive because there aren't boats allowed. There's strict restrictions and stuff. But before it was mainly boats.
Yeah, and I mean we do actually. Then we pay. For one dive shop, for example, it's 100 peso plus the ticket, 140 peso, and per dive when we use the boat and more or less their guide or crew,
600.
500 or 600.
Yeah.
Per person.
Before the pandemic, it was with the boat, and boat dives are like 600.
So we ended up with 700, 750 peso for one dive per person.
So now you can only shore dive, right?
Yeah, we do shore dives. We don't need a guide.
I don't need a guide because
no, but are boats operating at the moment or not?
Very few.
Some are operating, very few. Most of them illegally.
Yeah, like I said, it's very tricky with all the restrictions. Also because the municipality of Darwin are very careful of what goes out and in, because Filipinos tend to break a lot of rules, so why not go in the middle of the ocean, then a lot of partying and then go back, all COVID patients.
Yeah, but also, you look in my country now, England. We had the government gave rules. People decided, well, we won't follow them all, and now we're back in a full lockdown for a month, right? So it's not just the Filipinos who don't follow rules. The English are pretty good at it as well.
Didn't you guys just get in England? I mean, you are not in England, but completely traveling stopped today again?
Yeah, we have a full lockdown as of yesterday. So only travel for work. You can't travel on holiday, because some people didn't follow the rules, right? And then the infection rate raised.
Kind of funny. I just read the news today. The last 3 weeks. Actually, the curve in the Philippines went pretty good downhill, and it looks good if you look at the actual curve. The only reason why it went downhill is people don't get tested anymore because the government didn't pay the Philippine Red Cross 1 billion peso. So 3 weeks ago, the Philippine Red Cross, which makes something like 30-35% of all COVID tests, stopped testing. So the 35%, the curve which goes down, is because nobody's testing, or 35% of the tests are missing because the Red Cross.
Here in Dubai, I mean, or the UAE, the government's doing a fantastic job, I have to say. But everyone here follows the rules. I think I've had 7 or 8 tests because every time I go to Abu Dhabi, I have to have a test.
Okay.
And every 4 months, because I'm over 60 or 50. I get 1 test free, and they've recently dropped the cost of testing by about 5-fold. We pay 50 dirhams now for a test. When we were paying 170, so nearly 3.5 times less.
Exactly. Lucky you, in the Philippines, when you're 60 plus, you wouldn't be allowed to leave the house.
Yeah.
Well, when we went into a lockdown, I wasn't allowed to go into the shopping malls.
Yeah. And here it's still like that. I think they raised now the age above you, so I think it's 65 now or something. But from March until last month, until end of October, between 60 and above or below 20 was not allowed to go out at all.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
so even though I get a visa to see my kids, they won't let me outside. Unless I lived on a boat, of course.
Where we live, nobody cared anyway. So
teenagers were just going to the malls.
While Dumagetti thing, I think they handled that whole situation pretty well. I usually don't talk very well about our government, but in this case, I must say, heavy restrictions, they were implemented, and they loosen it up without announcing it. So, and I think this is the good thing. Only certain trike numbers, like odd and even on special days, were allowed to go to the city.
To drive.
Now, it was never announced that this limitation is lifted,
It just happened.
and they just sneak it slowly in, but the government knows that they monitor that as long as still a kind of in okay paths, it gets respected. Right now,
But are you experiencing many fatalities from COVID in Dumageddon?
not at all, not at all. I think by now we have 2 or 3 only.
Yeah, all active cases, not fatalities.
Fatalities in 6 months, 3.
In 6 months, 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the numbers are very low.
So coming back to the diving, how many sort of dive shops or dive centres have you got locally between Dumageddon and Darwin?
Well, dive shops, if you with a resource, I think we talk about by now 35, 40.
And how many are open?
That is hard to say because.
Well, some are open, but only for visitors, but no dive operation. Actually, most of them are resorts. They are not just dive shops.
Yeah, sure.
I would say altogether around 10 out of all of them. I mean, for which also sometimes or once in a while cater diving, not only daytime visitors or anything. Some of them are completely closed, like some of the bigger ones, the older ones. El Dorado, I think, is still closed. Yeah, there's nothing open. I think Atlantis is completely closed. Mike's mainly opens at the weekend.
So, do you think they will all reopen after the pandemic's over, or?
I know. They're quite. The last couple of years, there were quite a lot of Asian, so Korean and Chinese shops opening. They will reopen because there's always an investor behind. The people sitting there, running the shop are not the owners, but the big ones will survive. I'm pretty sure about that. They made enough money over the last 3 years. The small ones, I do admit, I will not miss them if they're gone. Maybe some cheap equipment to buy, but for the dive sites we have here, there are way too many dive shops.
Right.
I mean, everybody who has just a nipper hut standing around the beach area calls himself a dive shop, buys 5 sets of real shitty equipment and a guide, which is no dive master, which has no education, which does nothing. It does nothing about safety procedures. They go diving without any oxygen kit, no medic first aid kit, and they get enough customers because they don't care, backpackers. Oh, diving cheap, good.
Yeah.
No, and I find that it's a development which I completely don't like. Diving is a sport which costs a little bit money, or a recreational activity which costs money. So I don't like when the bigger shops, or those where you get all that comfortable stuff, they don't get credit for what they did actually 20 years ago, like Atlantis or Chris Heim or El Dorado, which were the only dive shops back then. And now and they went to all that big conventions worldwide promoting Philippine diving, and they put Dumageddon on the map. Yeah. Nobody else. Not all that bongo nonsense and all that. Yeah. They're just riding the waves. And there's no credits, not from the local tourism offices, from the government offices, to those who actually provided the way and put Dumageddon on the map. And there where you go diving, you have all that convenience, you have all that safety, and you have that service. And what I see sometimes in the waters of Darwin, it doesn't make me angry, but I think they shouldn't be there. So I will not miss them if they close down.
Yeah, that's quite funny because yesterday, as you know, I was talking to Lee Ricketts at the Alegria Dive Resort in Cebu, and I think he's around 30 kilometers away from Mobile. And he's had a lot of support from the local municipality and the tourism authorities. So is that just because of a different culture on the different islands?
No, I think actually he's at a spot where he's basically alone. I mean, there's nothing around.
Yeah.
It's still 30 clicks up to Morbol where he is, or 15. You know, he's basically in the middle of nowhere, so it's a different municipality.
Yeah.
Than Morbol. At least that's what I think. So he gets the support to bring people there.
Yeah, he seems to have had a lot of support.
While
So I guess the moral of the story is, if you want to set up a dive center in the Philippines, do it in a new remote location,
which is still accessible. You know, like he did a fantastic job that way. His location, it's not overrun. It's basically in the middle of, let's say, nowhere, but close enough, and along the coastline where 1,000 buses go. So you can go. You just fly to Dumaguete, take a ferry, and are there in 20 minutes with the bus. You know, or get picked up directly at the ferry terminals, or from Cebu, Sarah's Liner, the bus terminal. They stop there. So here he picked a very good location because it's still easy to reach. If you want to do the same in the south of Palawan, it won't work.
Yeah. So there's a question, right? You've won the lottery. You've got $5 million or something, and Daisy says, "Dad, I want us to have our own dive resort, dive center." And you say, "Yep, okay. Where would you put it in the Philippines?"
Oh, in the Philippines. Oops.
In the Philippines, yeah. Where do you, so for any investors looking, you know, we give them a hot tip.
I'm going to be your financial advisor, but I'm not going to deal with locals. Sorry, darling. I would either drink it, or I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. I would never.
Anyone watching? Any ideas?
I wouldn't.
Right. While you're thinking, I'm not going to let you get off. We'll just go through a few more comments. Cridan's been active. He wants to go diving with you guys. I can see that happening pretty soon. I really can.
Yeah,
because I think Daisy.
So late. He stands up when we go home after the second dive.
But I think he needs Daisy. He needs Daisy because he can only do the challenges if Daisy makes the little critters for him.
No, that's gonna be super fun. I mean,
Justin, you're gonna have to get up early one Sunday.
Yeah.
No,
the Talata boat is running. He's told us.
Talata. Who's running Talata at the moment? And Dive Society is Talata, is it? No. Does Talata have an own dive operation now? Because Talata is a resort down in is that Mayung past Masapot or Masapot? Yeah, I think close to Mayung Tubig. And
almost
they had different dive shops and dive center basically in the resort. I don't know if Talata is now running their own dive resort.
Okay, so all the resorts that Credanta used to affiliate with, Atmosphere Liquid, and all closed until mid next year.
Atlantis died when I left them.
Yeah.
They are since something like 15 years or something.
Yeah. But apparently they're all rebuilding and upgrading the resorts, which I guess is good news. Right, so I'm coming back to the question. I'll rephrase it.
Upgrading.
So I arrive on my brand new 70-foot sailing catamaran.
Ooh.
And I say, Daisy and Rudy, come on, we're going to go diving. Where are we going?
If you arrive in Dumaguete,
all expenses paid.
No.
Well, Dumaguete is too far from here, so
nowhere's too far. You know, I'm going to cover all your expenses. Lots of work. I've got satellite Wi-Fi on the boat. I've got an office for you to work. Where are we going?
Where? Okay, first.
Well, if you have a lot of time, just go straight to Tubata. If it's, let's say,
April. Yeah, but we've done that, right? We've done that. We've been on other boards.
Then we can start from Dumaguete, go to Apo Island, go from Apo Island, maybe one dive along Paliton Wall in Sikihor, but we go on to Bohol, dive there, maybe under to one day drift diving along the coastline You basically jump in at one spot, boat picks you up wherever you come up. You jump, 1 hour later, you jump in there and you just go along. After
Where's
3
that?
dives, you move on to.
Where's that?
Where was that, Rudy?
That's the south east coast of Bohol.
Right.
Then off Alona Beach is lovely Balikasak Island. Of course, we have to go there. Balikasak is just like
Beautiful.
that's diving. From there, we can move on a quick dive to Sumilon, then jumping into the water with the whale sharks in Oslo. I know people are against it. I don't give a flying because this is just outstanding, amazing.
No, I've dived with whale sharks a lot.
They're fun. They're fun. They're
Yes, but in
gentle.
Oslo they say, "Oh, it's a circus," blah blah blah, nonsense.
I mean, yeah, it's got to be done correctly, but
Yes, what is done correctly? They are free.
They come
They are
back.
free. They swim through and they stay a couple of days there, and then they move on.
Yeah.
I mean, in a season they have 50, 60 different whale sharks passing through there. So yes, just that the Japanese are sitting there and they feed a little bit krill or the guides there.
Yeah.
This is not what makes a whale shark a 12-meter creature.
no, they
This is
tons and tons of krill.
underwater tree hugger nonsense I don't even want to listen to. And when all that, oh no, they are not natural. Of course they're natural. It's not a circus.
Yeah.
They are not gated.
No.
They come there, they
They're
swim
not
there.
poked or
I mean,
So what I'm getting from this is south of the Philippines is where the diving action is, and the
well, we are pretty much in the middle. I mean, when we are done with Tubata, you have to come here to us anyway. So we are here.
Yeah.
So there's nothing you can do about. But from there, we then go up the west coast of Cebu. From where we go, of course, Pescador Island, the Sardine Run, some must-see things. That's where you also we can stop over and meet your interview partner of yesterday, of course. Because he can jump on our boat. We go to Pescador, then we stay at his resort, drink a lot, and make a nice dive day at his house reef the next day. Then we move on to the north, of course, to Malabasco Island, go diving with the treasure shark, have a great day trip to Gato Island, a beautiful little island where you can swim through the island, beautiful. And
so basically like going up from where we are, just going up.
Yeah.
Island hopping, like. Ooh.
Yeah, but we can say if the boat works, we can stay on the boat. It's fine.
That's his side. I actually want to try for some reason the Great Barrier Reef. I've just seen.
So you want okay? So let's talk about when the pandemic finally finishes, people can travel. Let's talk to Daisy. Daisy, where would you like to go?
Well, generally.
Great Barrier Reef.
Yeah,
But I understand the coral's bleaching very badly there.
Yeah, but I've just seen way too many documentaries and videos, Nemo, Finding Nemo, so I kind of got drawn to it. Plus,
So it's on the bucket list.
Yeah, and I've already been searching for like liveaboards. It's way too expensive for me, but I've already looked how much I would be not wasting. I'm spending. There we go. Spending for.
Well, your dad's always generous on your birthday, right?
He is, but I kind of want to do it on my own, kind of, like independent woman.
Right, you've got to sell a few more of those roses at Valentine's Day.
Yeah. Well, we share. We make 50-50.
And what about after the pandemic? Where do you want to go in the Philippines to go diving?
Mualbual, because we actually have.
That's the sardine run, right?
Yes, because we had a few Belgian friends which we met here in Darwin, there in Darwin last year, right? Big shout out to Ivan and Kevin and Luke. So they wanted to come here, but again, pandemic, so their trip got canceled. But we were all planning to go to Mualbual. So after this, we're going. If you guys want to come with us, you're welcome.
And
you've got an island close to you. Is Sigihor?
Sikihor.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know the Wi-Fi sucks there because Critter Hunters told me. But how's the diving there?
Beautiful, actually.
We've been there. We've been there pretty much a year ago. They have beautiful walls. They have beautiful corals. They have white sand compared to Darwin. They have really nice white sand, nice shallow corals, and then it drops down walls. Good visibility, good aquatic life, a lot of critters, but also, turtles, sometimes sharks passing by. So it's really, really good diving. It's really good diving there for a day or two, in my opinion, or 3 days maximum. And then it's time for my thing to move on. And
All right, a big,
I mean,
and that's quite an easy journey from Dumagetti, isn't it?
It is. But that's where always shit happens for me, so I'm not going there anymore.
Yeah.
Do you want to expand on shit happens, or?
Oh no, that's when he got his diving accident on my birthday.
Yeah, that was actually.
Oh, I bet you were popular then. So what happened?
I have no idea, but
literally an accident. We have no idea. Just
diving accident and complete regular dive profiles, not dehydrated, not drinking the day before or anything.
Not tired. Just...
I came up after the second dive and we had lunch, and suddenly during lunch I felt dizzy. This big purple blotches developed everywhere on me. Lay down on the ground, and
from there it's history to basically.
Then I was lying on a
stretcher
in Sikihor on the beach, and the little resort we've been, they couldn't carry me up the steps. They had to carry me down
to the next resort and then use that path going up to the highway.
And then to Sikihor, to the Sikihor District Hospital. They can't do anything other than giving you oxygen. So thanks to that was the day before your birthday.
Yeah, it was. The accident happened the day before my birthday. So on my birthday, it was like early in the morning. We called a few people, doctors, trying to get him to any procedure, like what's gonna happen.
And they couldn't do anything. So we called one of our advertisers.
Royal.
Who runs a small charter airplane company here. And well, he didn't give us discount, but he managed immediately getting to Sikihor.
Going to Cebu.
And basically her birthday present was a private aircraft to Cebu from Sikihor.
Yeah.
Instead of having a big party there.
So you were then in a chamber, were you?
Yeah, I think let me have a look. I have a picture somewhere if I can find it. Here we go.
So we were actually, my birthday was spent in a hospital, like morning and afternoon. Yep. And that happened for like a week, right? Almost a week in the chamber.
No, 5 days.
5 days in the chamber.
4.
You were full time in the chamber or just daily treatment?
No, that was 240 minutes each thing in the chamber, and 4 days in a row. First day 2 times, and then 3 more days. And then I escaped from the hospital because then it turned into, there's a foreigner walking wallet. The chamber thing was done, but then they wanted to test it this and that and that, and each time they brought me somewhere for testing. The machine was broken, or they had to bring me somewhere else. It still ended up on the bill. And so on
Philippine hospital.
Yeah. On the 26th of September,
which is his birthday.
Yeah. I fled at night with Mama Monster. Daisy was already at home.
Yeah. Doing business, just keeping everything alive.
The thing is, back then I didn't have any balance. Right after the accident, my ear was fine. I remember that, and I can't remember when my ear issue happened. I'm deaf on the left side. I have a constant ringing, but it's a middle ear or inner ear thing. My balance is completely gone, or was completely gone. So I was with that little crutch, more or less, leaning on Mama Monster, she brought me at night. We more or less escaped. She paid all the bills, and I just wanted to go home because they didn't do anything anymore.
And the fun part was you
No.
were in a wobbly boat,
Yeah.
loose, not having any balance. So that was like a fun ride.
Yep, that was quite funny. And about 7 o'clock or 6 o'clock in the morning, we touched down in Sibulan next to Dumaguete at the pier.
Finally
I
home.
went home, and yeah, that's where then, at the end of the day, my birthday nudie prank arrived. So
The first of the collection.
that was the very first of the
Yeah.
collection. Name Brota.
Yep, because I asked
So
him.
what? How far is Siggihor by boat from Cebu?
Go.
From Siquijor to Cebu by boat is almost not possible. So from Dumaguete it's an hour, 1.5 hours. But from Siquijor going to Cebu, you have to go below, so 50 kilometers below Cebu city, and on the boat and everything. And I just back then, that was the 23rd, so 1 day or something, or 1.5 days after the accident. I couldn't imagine even going to a boat.
No.
So with Royal Air, we hired the Cessna, and it was, well, we had a ambulance bringing us to the little Siquijor airstrip.
Yep.
And from there we went off to Cebu International or Airport. They only have one landing strip anyway. So and there we got picked up by the next ambulance and brought to Cebu Doctors Hospital, which was check-in and everything was very, very, very professional. The chamber treatment was professional. They gave me the reports. I have all the reports here.
So is the nearest chamber for both Siggihor and Dumaguete then is Cebu, is it?
It's Cebu. Yeah.
So Dumaguete and Darwin don't have their own chamber?
Well,
there was a budget for that for like years ago before the current.
Something like in 2006 or 2005.
When diving started here, and they allocated like millions of pesos for a chamber here in Dumaguete or here in the province, but somehow
the chamber was bought by the governor back then, but it was not operational, so they allocated again in 2012. There's media, so I'm not talking nonsense. It can be Googled, so if somebody from Dumaguete looks it up, it was posted on Metro Post, local newspaper, and it's still online. In 2012, the government and the tourism office of Negros Oriental allocated something like 3 million pesos to have this chamber running. That was 2012, and so allocation means for me that there's the money. Well, up to this day, nothing happened.
So is the chamber actually physically there in Dumaguete?
Yeah, there's a metal pipe laying around.
But it's not been commissioned or installed?
Probably by now it's scrap metal and sold by some backyard vendors or so. I don't know if it's still existing, but...
That's heartbreaking. That's really heartbreaking.
Because it helps for much more, it helps for heart attack patients and whatever, it's not only for divers. And yeah, it is, but that's the point, the local, probably they hate me after that interview if one of them watches that again, but I don't need to hold back.
So there's an important message here for divers, right? One is you can be on a normal dive, normal profile, recreational dive, and get bent.
I even limited my smoking and everything.
Everything was just, I would say, in a sense.
Yeah, I knew a dive instructor who got bent at 12 meters.
Yeah, and
I was in the Maldives last year or year before, and someone got bent, very similar to yours, skin bends and stuff.
Yeah.
So the other message I've got for divers who are watching this is, please make sure you've got a good dive insurance.
Yeah.
Or dive ashore. I was talking to some people who may come diving with me here. I'll just take them out on my boat, and they said it's on our travel insurance. Well, the guy in Maldives had it on his travel insurance, and they said we're not paying. And finally, he did get the money. They said, no, you're on a cruise.
Dive ashore is for for the Philippines the way to go actually. Quite some dive shops, and you don't get in the cheaper dive shops also. Quite some dive shops offer you whatever a $2 additional just for the day of diving or for the dive. Then you are insured via the dive shops. You don't get that in the backpackers places.
No. Yeah, I carry both. I carry Dan and Dive Ashore. So if anything happens, I'm 62, right? A lot of things happen to someone who's 60 when he's underwater. The whole physiology is different. So if I don't feel well, it's 2 phone calls, and hopefully they will then take over.
And that is actually amazing, because after that I wasn't, of course, not really good on my feet, and it took a couple of months. I mean, I missed after this accident going home. My next trip was scheduled for September 30th, original to Rio de Janeiro, and well, that was completely cancelled.
Yeah.
So that trip was for, was that for one of your metalhead concerts?
That was for Rock in Rio open air with Iron Maiden. So
Iron Maiden, yes, yeah, you're a big metalhead, right?
Rio de Janeiro, this is one of that one and only things you want to see. This is, I mean, that the biggest metal festival you can imagine. When Iron Maiden plays there, it's just like incredible. They have a whole city just dedicated for that festival there, outside Rio de Janeiro. And yeah, well, that's my favorite band. I was working with them, so everything was set. That didn't happen again. And well, I did make it in December to Tokyo to see Kiss. And
that was actually very heartwarming to see, him enjoying finally back traveling a little bit after the accident.
But there was still no way that I could walk straight. I still have balance problems. I mean, the brain is a complete amazing thing. I still have balance problems when I go to places where I have not been before.
Because everything is new, so the brain still
everything my brain can remember. I'm super stable. I can dance, jump, and whatever I do. When the second I go somewhere off the road, I'm unstable when I haven't been there before. So that's really like how amazing the brain works, like how fast it picks up things. Even there is something wrong with your middle ear. I don't have any issues with scuba diving. I feel much more stable.
How long did it take before you got back in the water?
When did we go back?
We started
early this year.
Yeah, early this year. After the accident, we came like early this year, before the pandemic. Our first dive was March, if I'm not mistaken, because after
just before the pandemic, we made a video about tank rental in
that was somewhere like in March something, and then March 17, if I'm not mistaken, they just locked us down. So the second we actually start to go diving, his first diving after the accident, so wobbling down the shore. After that, they're like, nope, no diving for you.
And for me, it was like I had to go diving. I had to go diving, not only for myself, but actually for Daisy, because I saw her here in the office sitting on the other side of my monitors. And when we talked about diving, I mean, the point is I lost 2 things with my hearing. There are 2 things I just love, and that is diving and especially music. And with one ear, you can't enjoy music, at least not the way I did before, and that you don't know which direction something comes from. My phone, if my phone now rings and it does not lay in front of me, I don't find it.
He just hears it, but he doesn't.
If you only hear with one ear, there's no way you know where it actually comes from.
So on your diving now, do you stay within a certain depth? And are you very conservative on your dive times?
Conservative diver. He sets his computer to conservative, so he's a little bit higher than me when I'm already down, just keeping it more or less safe for everyone.
Shorter bottom times. I pushed my way to 30 meters over whatever 30 or 40 dives now, since I'm back in the water again. I started with 8 meters.
Yeah.
First dive
first
with Daisy.
First 2 dives.
I mean, for me, it was more like, because it was that I couldn't dive, and that issue was affecting actually Daisy, because she thought it is partially her fault.
I mean, it was on my birthday.
It was the day before your birthday. So for me, it was more a kind of thing like I have to do something to get her back in the water. And it took a while until I felt that comfortable. That I said, well, I tried. And my two ladies said, hey, do you want to bring a guide? And I said, no, doesn't help me. Doesn't help me. You know, if anything happens at 8 meters, press the button, shoot me to the surface. I will not die with that. And I was extremely nervous. I think this was I can't remember having a dive being that nervous in my whole.
Well, it's natural, isn't it? Because is it going to happen again? You know. So anyway, I think we're all very happy that you're both back in the water.
And you know, going in the water, I was super wobbly with all the waves on it, and it was low tide, and then it's a little bit rocky in between the sands. I was like, and
it wasn't the calmest wave. The shore wasn't friendly to us. So, it was like bigger waves than normal. So,
but the second I was underwater, I felt so free. I felt that's actually the most amazing thing for me about scuba diving is the ability to move in 3 dimensions. This is for me the most fascinating thing. I don't need to see anything. Throw me in the water, 15 meters, neutral buoyancy, moving in 3 dimensions. Blue, 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 or for you it would be green, 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 green. Take me out when the tank is empty. This is the most amazing feeling I experienced in my life. And I'm so happy.
Me too.
It's like meditation, like for him.
For me, it's meditation. I'm not religious. I love being in churches. I love being in churches, mosques, and everything. And
all right, Critter Hunter's got a comment.
Yeah.
The tank rental video is how he found you. Wow. Now I rent tanks at Apple Scuba twice a week.
Awesome. We should ask for commission.
I should tell
not Critter Hunter, but Roxanne.
Right, let's just talk about the channel, Dive Monster.
Yep.
What are the future plans? Any plans for it, or you're just going to let it roll on, or have you got some, sort of vision?
I do have different plans. First of all, I mean, I need to push another channel first.
Yeah, we're having this new channel. We just make channels up, but we actually have this new channel called Lifestyle Stalker. So it also practices more on my, again, editing skills and now my vocals, because I'm going to do some voiceovers, trying to learn, making.
And then one day I sell her as a voiceover artist. No, but with Dive Monster, no, we do what comes up. We do what comes up. As long as you can't travel, there's only a certain amount of diving you can do in Dumaguete. That's just what it is. Each dive.
Could you send me the links to your other channels, and I'll put them in the description when this is up on YouTube tomorrow.
This is not ready yet, but Dumaguete.com is definitely.
Yeah.
I sent you, yeah.
And that's okay. Right, so we're coming to the end. I'm actually going to the 50th anniversary of Sharjah British Tobacco Club tonight.
Okay, yeah.
So I've got to be a good boy because I've got to be up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go diving. So I won't be drinking, and I'll be home early.
I'm gonna
Rudy,
gonna have a beer anyway.
Cheers.
If you don't drink, we drink. We both have to drink.
Rudy, what's your favorite YouTube channel and why? It doesn't have to be diving related.
Oh, it isn't diving related. I rarely watch diving YouTube channels.
Except mine to give me hell in the comments.
I watch. My favorite YouTube channel is without any doubts Aussie Man Reviews.
That's actually my favorite as well.
Oh, but they're both. So both of you, what's that channel all about?
It's just stupid and funny.
It's not
And-
stupid. It's Uncle Ozzy.
Yeah, Aussie Man,
It's an
Aussie Man
Australian.
reviews. You gotta watch that. It's just hilarious, funny.
He's basically an Australian guy who does commentaries on any kind of video, boxing video, just any.
Weather forecast videos, and he basically takes the videos and puts his own comment on it, and he's so good doing that. So I'm watching that and I'm laughing, and that is definitely one of my
Stress
favorite.
relievers.
Yeah.
And Davey 504 is another channel which is close to Aussie Man. That's basically an Italian living in the States, and in my opinion, one of the best bass guitar players in the world.
Yeah.
But his channel is so funny.
He doesn't even play bass anymore.
He's just sitting there
No.
sometimes doing nothing, but his cuts are very good. This is something you want to look for: professional cuts, sound, light. I mean, like everything Davey 504.
Yeah.
And
Right. So if you can just message me those links, I'll put them in the description when it's uploaded.
when it comes to diving, I do have some channels which I certainly watch most videos. I watch most of your videos actually. I don't know why, but I do. And no, videos have to be. And sorry, Critter Hunter, I'm diving here, so I'm not watching your videos that much because I know all this. I've seen it before.
Don't upset him.
This is no insult, but if I watch video, I'm sitting the whole day in front of the boxes here and that monitor. So if I really watch videos, I want to see something new I don't know, or something which entertains me, or I can learn something. Like I watched your interview with that rebreather guy. That was fantastic. I had no clue what he's talking about, but it was interesting because I learned something about a technique which I'm aware of, but no expert. So I loved to watch that. I like to watch your interview, for example, with that Swiss guy, the underwater film.
Matthias Lebo, yeah.
Yeah.
Then I watched one of his videos and I was super disappointed because he's saying like, oh, this is why each cameraman loves, or the filmmaker loves this underwater light. I watched 10 minutes and nobody says why he loves that light. You know, just the handling doesn't verify the money of that light unless you get it.
For free, sponsor.
I'm not watching regular review videos. They bore the holy crap out of my rear end because, I mean, you get something for free. You couldn't say like, oh yeah, hey, this is the new Axe Dry. Like, that smells. That sucks. You can't say that. You know, you get it for free, so you have to say, oh, that's good. You know,
Well, everything I review on my channel, I pay for.
Good to know.
Well, everything
Yeah.
we have been paying for. I'm trying. I think I mentioned that once before. I want to make 2-3 videos about our little setup.
Yes. Starting with just a GoPro, like how we actually started making it.
Yeah,
And
that would
also-
be interesting. Yeah,
Yeah,
that would be.
because we still have the old, more or less old videos, first videos just with GoPro. We have GoPro videos with her actually snorkeling with her boyfriend.
Yeah, just
You know,
just
then
GoPro.
we have GoPro videos with my first little light, actually fantastic video of flamboyant cuttlefish with that
Yeah.
little tiny light.
Yeah.
That turned out really, really good.
So just like staging up. And
Yeah, I like the quality of your videos because I'm just starting, right? I bought a couple of GoPros and I'm just doing my best, right?
What video editing program are you actually using?
Hit Film Express.
Oh.
That's also complicated because I'm a lazy cutter. So I use a program called Power Director.
And I use professional called Premiere Pro.
Yeah, but I use usually Power Director, and it's that lazy man's
It's
program.
literally just one click from him. There is this filter or this kind of thing that just takes out the way the green and everything. It's called underwater. It's literally called underwater.
I made that filter underwater.
And it's just
Yeah,
one
I think. I mean, our water here, because of all the bits in it. I mean, it's just a chance. So even the green filters don't work. I bought this. What do they call it? Polar Pro filter system. and I put the green on. I did some side by sides, and the GoPro 8.
Those even don't work in clear water. You know, all these flip filters and the stuff don't work.
No, that's what I'm seeing. That's what, especially with the Hero 8.
Here's what you do. As you can use different layers in each video production. You don't want to take light away underwater. That means each filter you put on top of that, that's from my own.
Takes away some light, yeah.
Takes away light. It's much easier in post-production if you just make several shades of red.
Red. If it's too
make
green,
a layer and then make like, you know, some orange, some red, some blah blah blah, and then use them in a whatever 10, 15, 25% opacity. It does not take away the light of the original. With all that filters, when I see a review on Backscatter about that flip filters, I freak out. This is the biggest nonsense in the whole wide world, and they cost $100 or whatsoever.
Yeah, I know. I bought a flip and I bought a Polar Pro. What is good though, the lenses are good. So I'm not that. The lenses are good, but the filters.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be doing a review on those, and I paid for them. So, but I bought some cheap macro lenses from China.
What we do actually, we've
lost that
Olympus TG6 for really macro, and on the hot shoe of the camera, or on the cold shoe actually, we have the GoPro hanging.
Yeah, so the GoPro is for taking videos.
And that's for regular videos. And if you get close, like the beautiful crab, where the porcelain crab, that's then the TG6.
Credit Hunters also said the same to me, that the TG6 does awesome macro. He's been back on. Oh, it looks like we've got some work for you there. Do you want me to be your agent and negotiate the pay?
Well, as long as you get paid in dives, it's fun.
True, either pay talent fee or free dives. I'm good.
Free dives, and she'll do voiceovers. There you go. You can't beat that for a deal. And Credit Hunters uses Premiere Pro and After Effects.
Actually, one of my favorite programs just for color correction, I use that on some videos, is DaVinci Resolve.
Oh yeah.
This is for me.
Yeah, I've heard of that program.
It's for free. That's the cool thing, you know. You take the snippets you want, and I just make color corrections on that little snippets, and then I export it, and then I use it in Power Director.
Yep.
And so if I see, I can do something with that, I can do something with that. If it needs more color correction than my program could do, or even with Premiere Pro, it's a little bit trickier to make the color correction than with that DaVinci. And the DaVinci is free. This is the most amazing thing ever that you can do.
We love free. We love free. Yeah. All right, we're about out of time. I must say, Rudy, you've been very well behaved.
I'm so surprised as well.
Yeah, I mean, I thought he was going to go for it, but I think the video clips sort of that I put up sort of took him by surprise.
No, you ask questions which made sense. You know, you ask questions where I have something to say about it. If I don't have anything to say, I can talk hours complete nonsense. But you ask, we came to the accident. You came to.
We'll do the hours of complete nonsense over a couple of beers. So just finally,
by the way, I have to make a shout out. I promised to make a shout out. No, I didn't promise.
Okay, let's go.
To make a shout out to.
Here's a list.
No, Underwater World, Philippine Sea, my kuya, Rene Camacho.
From Anilao.
He's from Anilao, and he is the one. If you want to watch, I challenged him on our critter challenge. I challenged actually Rene.
The lobster, right?
Mantis shrimp.
Mantis
shrimp. And Rene makes videos I love. I watch each of his videos. His English is not the best, but he.
What's the name of his channel?
Underwater
World, Philippine Sea.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've subscribed to it. Yeah, it's good.
He's a Filipino,
and he tries to put a lot of knowledge into that. And
yeah, we'll put a link to that channel in the description as well.
That's after Malbal, that is my next destination in the Philippines. I will visit
Anilao.
He has a small resort also directly in Anilao.
Well, that's where we'll meet up. That's where we'll meet up because I just love going.
Is allowed. You coming here anyway, and we're gonna be.
I love Anilao. Yeah, I just
there. I mean, I have
because the diving's so varied, it's so easy, and I've got it all set up. Right, finally, can we have some German words of wisdom?
Words of wisdom. Words of wisdom.
For any budding scuba tubers, any people who are in my situation, say, thought, right, let's start a channel.
If you start a channel, I think one of the most important thing, and people see that, is be honest, be true to yourself. Be true to yourself and be true to your friends. Show it on your video. You will make mistakes, you will talk nonsense, but it's you. It's you. And that's the most important thing. Nowadays, everybody wants to be something different as they are than they actually are. You know, that's with diving, for example. Diving is wonderful. When I started diving, and probably you were diving way earlier, you went on a dive boat, and no matter which religion, race, gender, blah blah blah, doesn't matter. Everybody jumps in some neoprene or some whatever suit back then, goes diving and talks bubbles, and everybody had fun. Nowadays, even here in Darwin, everybody has to be special.
Tree hugging.
You know, underwater tree hugging, ethical, correct diving, and all that pile of bullshit. Just be normal people. That's the most important thing. That's the most important thing, and this reflects in your videos. I think I'm a very thoughtful guy, but in real world, I'm most of the time crazy. But that craziness is thought through. That's why that little Filipina developed in a wonderful young woman. And I'm super proud of her brother, and of course her mother. And most people don't even know that. They think we are a couple.
Yeah.
They think we are a couple. I think even Justin Grida.
No, I did my research.
You know, I think even Justin.
No, but I mean, you guys are just great to watch. I mean, it's just fantastic, you know. And I'm glad you said that, because on my channel, everything you see, I just go straight off. You know, I don't bother reshooting. If I make a mistake, I make a mistake, because like you guys, I work 50 hours a week, and I just haven't got the time to go and correct it. Right? When I started, because I used to be a very, very sort of perfectionist person. That's because I was born in Germany. You know, the curse.
Well, you're born in Germany, so that's what it is.
And doing the YouTube channel, I thought, well, you know, if I just want that disinfection video I did took me about 6 weeks, because I wanted to get everything right, and in the end things were changing faster than I could make the video. So I just said, oh, to hell with it, let's do it, you know. And so that's why I got into live stream, because I thought, right, well, I do my videos straight off the bat, so why don't I do it live?
Exactly.
So
you know, you have the wisdom, you have the age, you have the knowledge. There's no need to hide and edit it. It's just there, you know, you have it. So I love the live streams. I never see them live, so I don't have to comment, but I see them when I stand up, or like today it was, I think, 11 when I was finally able to watch it. But oh my God, I love that. I watched them all up to this point, and I will continue with that as long as you continue.
Well, I've got some coming next Friday. I've got Andy, the Northern Diver.
I didn't make a research yet.
No, Andy, the Northern Diver. He's just hit his 1,000 subs in the UK. He's a British Sub-Aqua Club diver. Very interesting guy. So he's agreed. And then I'm talking to the British Sub-Aqua Club at the moment, and hopefully we will have their chief examiner of technical diving on. And he's a very well qualified, experienced diver. So yeah, they've got some really interesting people coming up. I just dropped Brock, the side mount guy, who comes on, a messenger today, to see if he will come on live. So I hope that works. So yeah, I love doing these, and I'm getting a bit more relaxed.
Right. Because even with the pre-interviews and the pre-chatting we had, you just learn people. You learn to know people much better. So that was actually a complete great experience, and I hope we helped that you gain some viewers. I hope that some people find that interesting, and you got our support anytime.
And Critter Hunter says you're a pretty good dad, Rudy.
He is.
I'll second that one.
I'm not a dad. This is another secret because she's not my physical daughter.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, Daisy is still. That's a picture she shares now from the very first time we meet.
That's the first time we met.
That was actually in Makati.
So far from.
She was 3 or 4 years old back then. So yeah, but no, where's the big burger picture? Do we still have it? No, let's look at another one.
That's when.
No, but she was
always a daddy's girl.
Daddy's girl.
Yeah, that is. You can see that right from there. Anyway,
little beach bum. So yeah, I just have to keep this way. The thing is, I have to entertain her, because this way I can keep the boys away. I have control and keep the boys away. Look at that. That was when I still was working back at Atlantis, I think, is it?
Yeah. I was still trying to learn how to swim before diving.
So so all the time was great, and yeah, then this is not a nudie prank. This is
that's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's a little devil.
Yeah.
In Dumaguete at a dive shop.
Yeah, that's actually when we went shopping, and I ended up buying that same wetsuit. That's what I wear when I go diving.
That's the wetsuit. Yep. Yeah, the good thing is that's at Asia Divers. They also have a dive operation at Galleon, and she liked it because it has integrated boobies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Come on, this is a family show.
That's a good looking wetsuit to start with. It's like
it's waterproof.
Waterproof
a good brand. She's got good taste in wetsuits.
That's just the
and that's what makes each scuba diver jealous.
Yeah, that's my
yeah.
Second day after my certification. So first was Apo, and then second day scuba diving with whale sharks.
So yeah.
Well, I'm envious. And what a good photograph to end on.
Yeah. Well, let's take about the best video. Yeah, that was during my advanced open water dive. Beautiful.
You look full of enthusiasm there.
Yeah.
It's just.
Wow,
that's a jellyfish.
That's a jellyfish.
That really is.
So yeah, let's end that.
Yeah, right. I've got to go. I've really got to thank you guys for doing this. I mean, it's been great. I mean, I knew it was going to be good. And yeah, what's really
we have to end the show.
A couple more comments
with a commercial.
She's so adorable. Well, we know that. Rudy knows that. That's why he partners with her on the channel. When we just had Rudy, I mean, it'd be nightmare. Where are they gone? Let's close on Critter Hunter. Well, blood don't matter, and I second that. I mean, they are a great father and daughter team. They are Dive Monster. Subscribe to their channel. It may not be about diving. It might be shitty, cheap burgers, but they will make you laugh. They may kidnap Mama Monster. She thinks she's going to the mall, but she's going to a dive shop.
Yeah.
They're absolutely brilliant. So I've got to thank you both. From everyone who's watched it, thank you as well. and
Thanks for
we'll
having
see
us.
you next time.
Absolutely, and
We'll be